Well, we started the season here in Fuji last March, and today we are returning to the track where Hololive GT3 made its humble beginnings. Welcome to round 7 of the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series, where 15 cars today take to the track here in Fuji Speedway. And as always, we're going to be taking a look into the track map here to see what this track is all about. We're talking about a 4.5 kilometer circuit. That's the total length of the track. Total width is between 15 to 25 meters. Expect a lot of side-by-side action throughout the circuit. 16 corners, 10 to the right, 6 to the left. We'll have 22 laps of racing as we did last March. Now, we want to talk about Lexus being, like the Lexus cars being the favorites to win, as out of the 4 points paying races in the Hololive GT3, 2 of these came from Lexus cars. We have seen Callum Gibbons in the number 48 Ozaros Bar Lexus taking the win in the inaugural points-paying Hololive GT3 race in Split A, and Neshaki Riza winning in the number 64 Roboco Lexus in Split B's inaugural race. So in all, we'll be taking a look into Lexus cars being the favorites to win. Target lap times, ever since we have like the tire upgrade, expect faster lap times overall. We're looking at a target lap time of a 1 minute 39 seconds. Sorry, 1 minute 39.525 seconds. So those are the target lap times. That's the track map sorted out. Let's take a look into the championship context here for Split A. After round 6 in Motegi, Shazren continues his reign in the lead, 212 points ahead of Alikan Astor in the championship. Now new championship contenders have arisen, with Orihara Isaiah, Alex Bowen, and Dan Powell climbing into the top 5. And for Alex Bowen and Dan Powell, these will be their first time into the top 5 of the championship. Andrew Takotla and Muhammad Zohaid didn't have good runs compared to the Lexus runners, and so they fell out from the top 5. Sean Pauli has also fallen out from the top 5 after a pretty meh result in Motegi. Brendan McConley is continuing his climb up in the championship. He is now currently 9th place in the number 6 Oshimari Lexus. Yosoro Hernandez is currently 10th in Hololive GT3. Pretty meh at the moment. We got Castro, Alex Grant, Kento Shiden, Muhammad Shaki Reza. They're certainly struggling in the bottom 5 of the championship. And currently last in the championship here is currently Daniel Baltev in the number 10 Tokoyami Toa Honda. As we're going to be transitioning over into qualifying. Hi, welcome to Hololive GT3 here for round 7 of the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series. This is Muhammad Shaki Reza commentating here in this wonderful track here today. It's sunny, it's wonderful. The track is very fresh, dry, and very warm right now. We're racing in the summer months right now, and actually joining me in the commentary booth is none other than Daniel Baltev actually. Daniel Baltev is currently joining us in the commentary booth. He's currently last in the championship standings, driving the number 10 Tokuyamoto Honda. A known Kenzoku replaces Gabriel Ariadne after round 4 of the series, and since then he has scored a podium back in Autopolis Race 2. So, Daniel Baltev, welcome to the commentary booth. It's great to have you here.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for your words. I'm very excited to see this match today.
Yeah, it was not really, well, it is a match also, and it's a race basically. And here we see the championship leader, Muhammad Shazren Reza, barreling across the few turns here just to navigate the circuit for his outlap. Here's Orihara Isaiah, currently third in the championship standings. A very solid run from him. Let's see if he can steal more points from Shazren Reza, as we may have heard that the Lexus may be favorites, but let's not count the Nissan and Honda cars out from the equation. So we have Orihara Isaiah barreling down the straight. There's Miguel Castro currently in the bottom 5 of the championship. And hasn't had a good run there since Boram. Here's Shakif Reza, number 77, Momosuzu Nene Nissan. Just gonna adjust the bit rate here a bit because it's just not looking good. Okay, we've reduced the bit rate just to make sure the FPS gets even more comfortable. And then we have some of the other drivers here: Alex Bowen, Kento Shida, Sean Pauly, Alec and Astor barreling straight. We haven't seen Daniel Baltev. Okay, there it is. There's your car out on the track. You have your car exiting the pits. How does it feel?
Perfect.
Perfect.
I'm
indeed.
eager.
Yes, we have Daniel Baltev definitely wanting to get his elbows out to make sure he gets out there in the race. And currently, Daniel Baltev in the number 10 Tokuyamoto Honda is currently on his hot lap. We're going to be scrolling through some of the drivers who will be making their hot laps as we speak. And currently, Yosoro Hernandez is on a hot lap, and currently Takoze was wanting to get past Yosoro Hernandez, and he can almost do just that. Takoze is being held up here at the moment. But first, we're going to take a look to some of the drivers who are looking to make an out lap. Let's go on board with Muhammad Zohair, number 22, Shirakami Fubuki Nissan. Let's go on board with him. Start a lap here in Fuji. Break into the 150-meter board into turn 1. Take it easy. Hold on into second gear with the Nissan. Now shift down first gear for that insane acceleration into turns 2, into turn 3. Left-hander into the Coca-Cola corner. Fourth gear comfortably here. Then the long right-hander of 100R. Turn 4 and 5. And then into the hairpin, that is turn 6. You want to brake at just before the billboard, the Total billboard. You should exit there. You have a kind of a long run here into 7 and 8. That's the tricky part. That's turn 8. And here is 300R. You want to brake at the Dunlop billboard into the Dunlop chicane. That's turns 10. Take it in low gears, either first or second, depending on what you like. 10, 11. Here's 12. You don't want to take too much of a curve in turn 11. Easy now into the tight right-hander turn 13. That's turn 13. Into turn 14 and 15. Those are nets. As Isaiah sets the provisional pole time, 140.943. To the final turn, that is turn 16. Mama Zohair is barreling on the main straight. That is his lap kind of done for, as long as he can get his car into the start-finish line. We're going outboard in the number 22 Shirakami Fubuki Nissan. He is really on a charge right now. Well, not really on the charge, he has been on a downward slump since. Meanwhile, he sets the second fastest time, now just behind Shakif Reza actually. Good job from him. Mama Zohair has actually had a slump since Autopolis, where he failed to score points in Autopolis, and in Motegi he was pretty bad. He only scored once in those last 4 races. Alex Bowen, where will she stand? 141.149. Pretty decent lap time from her. Kento Shiden in his final round in Hall GT3. This is his second last race before Lorenzo Ricci is expected to replace Shiden. Shiden 5th, Pauly 3rd. Very good lap there from Pauly. I think it's a very decent lap there from the Brit. Alican Astor 7th. Yosor Hernandez. Where will he end up? Provisional pole for Yosor Hernandez. Here's Daniel Balta. Let's see where your car ends up. Front row start there from Daniel Balta. That is, I think, the best. That's the best position for him in qualifying. How about that?
Let's go! I'm excited.
Oh yes, you can feel the excitement in Daniel's tone there. Daniel Balta starts on the front row as it stands. Joseph Hernandez is going to score. He's scoring his first pole of the season. As it stands right now, he has provisional pole. Let's see if there will be other drivers for the challenge. Shazren Reza is going to try to improve his lap time. He's currently well down in 13th place. Fuji has not been his best track in Hall GT3 so far. This is his only track where he has failed to score points. But he has scored a 4th place in the first race in Hall GT3 Split A. Obviously finishing behind Alex Grant and Kyle Gibbons back then driving the number 48 Ozora Subaru Lexus. Here's Shazren Reza into nets, sorry, turns 13. Into the 14 and 15, that is nets. And into turn 16. Very okay job there from Shazren. Into the final, into the main straight there. Let's see if Shazren could gain some lap time. He needs to have 7/10 up on his lap time if he wants to improve. At least challenge for pole position. On board with the number 31 Himimori Luna Honda. No improvement for Shazren Reza. He's currently down in 14th place. Not a good start from him. We have 6 cars left, barreling down the track. Daniel Balta has set his lap time, has not improved. He will start on the front row. Let's see if Balta can convert that front row start to a race win.
Pretty interesting results we see here.
Yep, interesting indeed. So here is barreling down the straight. Let's see where he ends up. Does not improve. He starts 4th. Daniel Balta has not improved either, so he will start 2nd. Yosor Hernandez, Shakib Reza has now to the pits. So that hit, their lap time's over. As for the last 4 cars out on the track, here's Alex Bowen, and then Sean Pauly, Alican Astor, and Orihara Isaiah. Isaiah is currently qualified 6th. Astor is only qualified 10th. Not much if in the championship context. Alex Bowen. Will she improve? No, 12th fastest for Alex Bowen. Sean Pauly, barreling down the main straight shape. Now driving the number 56 Inugami Korone Honda. Where will he end up? It will be a lap time of a 1 minute 40.527. That's a front row start. Bumps Balta down to 3rd. Astor does not improve as we're about to transition over into the race. So Daniel, being bumped from 2nd to 3rd, what's your thoughts?
I'm pretty excited for getting to the front row.
Well, you were pretty excited to get into the front row there, but obviously Sean Pauly has beaten you across the line in the start, in the qualifying session, in the late stage of the qualifying. Sean Pauly, very good stuff there from the Brit. As we're going to be taking a look into the starting grid for the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Stage. This is race 3 actually for Fuji. So Yosor Hernandez scores his first pole position in Hololive GT3 and the first time for the number 35 Sakura Miko Honda to score the first pole. It's a Honda 1-2-3. Sean Pauly qualifies 2nd in the number 56 Inugami Korone Honda. Daniel Balta is alongside him in 3rd in the number 10 Tokayami Toa Honda. He's pretty excited to qualify on the top 3. Shakib Reza as well. He knows that this car is meant for Fuji. He knows that Santini has performed wonders in this car before having to commit to a double pit stop strategy that eventually knocked him out of the race. Here's Mama Zohair, number 22 Shirakami Fubuki Nissan. He will start 5th place. Will this be a chance for him to improve on his previous rounds? Orihara Isaiah, number 48 Ozora Subaru Lexus. Let's see where he ends up there in 6th place. Alex Grant, number 57 Amane Kanata Nissan. He currently qualifies 7th, not bad from him. Dan Powell is in 8th, number 7 Natsuri Matsuri Lexus. Kento Shiden in his second to last start in Hololive GT3. Number 41 Hoshimachi Suisei Nissan qualifies 9th. Astor rounds out the top 10. Number 8 Akai Haato Honda is currently in 10th. Outside the points in the qualifiers, Brendan McConley, number 6 Ocean Marine Lexus, he qualifies 11. Alex Bowen in 12. Number 08 Shirogai Noah Lexus. Miguel Castro 13 still has not improved on his poor run these last 2 rounds. He qualifies 13th in the number 46 Omar Polka Nissan. Shazren Reza in the number 31 Himemori Luna Honda. He qualifies 14th. And for 15 is Andrew Taco's-Lad, who rounds out the 15 starters here in Split A in Hololive GT3 Split A, as we're about to get race 3 underway here in Hololive GT3. So Daniel, do you have any more thoughts about the race before we start?
It's pretty sad that I still didn't get into the front row, but I'm still eager to win.
Oh yes, Daniel is as hungry as ever for him to go for the opportunity to take this win here, as we're going to be transitioning over into the race. And here we see the drivers barreling down, actually not exactly barreling down the racetrack here. Here is
Let's see what
Hernandez.
we'll get today.
Hang on. We're seeing the cars lining up for the start. And here it is, the race start. We're going to be panning over to some of the drivers here. Here is Yosor Hernandez on the front row. Sean Pauly lines up alongside him. It's a big coordinate front row. And here's the start. Yosor Hernandez and Sean Pauly are neck and neck into turn 1. Heading into turn 1. Sean Pauly has the inside line. Yosor Hernandez is going to be forced the issue into the outside. Daniel Balzev is not far behind. Here are a lot of the cars battling for position. A lot of jostling here into these drivers. Yes, Sean Pauly has taken the lead. In the number 56 Inugami Corona Honda, Yosor Hernandez has had something to say about it. Daniel Balzev actually wants to try to challenge the leading pack, the leading 2 drivers there. Shazren is now up to 11th place. He has had a very good start there. McConley is now up to 12th place. Taco-Sled as well.
In the first 3.
Yes, it is. Shakib Reza is currently 4th place. Dan Powell also now up to 5th. Zuhair's brought down to start in 6th. Alkan Astor has climbed up to 7th. And Orihara Isaiah and Alex Bowen side by side for 8th place. They are currently into 300R into Dunlop Chicane, who will be side by side. Here is Alex Grant making the dive down the inside of Alex Bowen. And you can see a lot of jostling for position there. It's a Gen 1, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. As you can see, a lot of battles on the left, right, and center. Zuhair is currently on the outside line of next. So 13th against Dan Powell, but Dan Powell has the upper hand. It's going to be a feisty first lap this is, and it will continue for the next few laps here. As Sean Pauly, Yosor Hernandez, Dan Balzev form a battle pack in front of the Shakib Reza, who is currently sitting in 4th place. Dan Powell 5th, Zuhair 6th, Astor 7th, Zaya 8th, Alex Bowen 9th, and Alex Grant rounds out the top 10. Kento Shiden is going to try to make a move, and Andrew Taco-Sled is now side by side with the American and the number 12 ASCII Nissan. Hernandez is catching up to Pauly, but it's not too far back. Will there be a move down the inside? Alex Grant has passed Alex Bowen on the straight. 2 Alexes battling for 9th place. Zuhair has passed Dan Powell as well. Zuhair is now back up to 5th. You can see some 3 wide battles here at the back. Grant, Isaiah, and Bowen challenging for 8th place. Taco-Sled has overtaken Shiden. McCauley's now down to 14th place. Isaiah nearly pushes Bowen off wide. They're side by side into 100R into the hairpin. That's turn 6. Isaiah has the inside line into the hairpin. Will Alex Bowen challenge him? Actually, no. Isaiah is going to overtake Grant. Actually, it looks down the inside of Grant, but it's not going to be the outside line. It's going to be under pressure for Alex Bowen. The gap between the leaders, 6/10 between Hernandez and Pauly. Alex Bowen's making a pass down the inside into the Dunlop Chicane. He's actually looking to try to overtake Grant.
Perfect track from Bowen.
Good job there from Bowen at the moment. Kento Shiden is currently battling side by side with Andrew Taco-Sled into turn 13. Taco-Sled on the outside line. Almost goes off the track there, but manages to get back in. Blends in very well. Brendan McCall is now side by side with Kento Shiden. on board with McConley. Shiden is now on board with Shiden this time. He's now wanting the inside line back from McConley. McConley has a better run off the final turn. There's a lot of jostling for position there. Hernandez is trying to catch Pauly, but to no avail. Baltev is currently in 3rd place. Astor is now going to be the next driver to overtake Dan Powell. Astor is now in 6th place. Now we have previously mentioned that the Lexus cars are still underpowered compared to the Hondas and Nissans, but Dan Powell is trying to fight back.
Shazren got in the first 10 places.
Yes, he's getting back into 10th place.
They're doing pretty good right now, as we see. As we're getting into the 3rd circle, Pola is holding the 1st place right now.
Yes.
He's doing it pretty good.
Yes, very good stuff there from... actually, Astor there to try to put up a fight on Dan Powell, but still Dan Powell 6th place. The Lexus has grips in the corners where the Honda and Nissan does not here in Fuji, but they lack power on the straight, so that's one thing you need to take a look at. There's 22 laps here in this race here in Fuji. We're on lap 3, so we're going to need to take a look into the race field monitor, who will be pitting first. So we have Andrew Tacoslet and Yosor Hernandez pitting early for the undercut strategy, as does Dan Powell. As for the race leaders, Sean Pauly and Daniel Balta, they will be pitting in the middle stages of the race. So here's some various strategies there. So we have Sean Pauly coming into the undercut strategy, Daniel Baltev and Sean Pauly is going to commit to an overcut strategy. Let's see which strategy pays off as we're about to start lap 4 of this race. As you can see, Dan Powell's on board. Number 7, that's where Monterey Lexus. Astor spilling into the inside of Powell in the main straight. Let's see if Dan Powell's going to fight back into turn 1. 285 kilometers an hour into turn 1. Car number 7 and 8 battling side by side, exiting turn 1 into turn 2. And it looks like it is Astor's corner, and it's now Astor taking 6th place. Here's McCauley Taco Sled battling side by side for 12th place. Oh, actually got out of shape there, Taco Sled, and is now under pressure from Castro and Shiden. So fighting for 12th place. McCauley 13th right now, wanting to challenge Taco Sled's 12th place. Let's see where they end up, but he's now under pressure from Miguel Castro. He has the inside line of the hairpin on turn 6. Down the inside goes Brendan McCauley. Ooh, a bit optimistic there. Hops onto the curb there. You really don't want to hop onto the curbs too much here in the Dunlop chicane. You've seen Alex Grant back there, the number 19 Acura Lexus, hops onto the curb way too much and takes too much of it, and basically has his car landed on its side. Oh, Brendan McCauley goes off track. Oh, it makes contact. Miguel Castro and Brendan McCauley man doors and wheels, and both are now suffering damage. Katafidas is now looking to take that 14th place. Miguel Castro is now off the track, and it's now down to last place. Here's the battle for the race lead. Yosor Hernandez now the inside of Sean Pauly. Both of them are looking for their first win in Hololive GT3 in their respective cars, and it's Yosor Hernandez taking the race lead. But Sean Pauly is going to be fighting back.
Hernandez got in the 1st place.
Yes, Hernandez is in 1st place right now.
Amazing drive from Hernandez we see here. Let's get into the 5th lap.
Lap 5, Dan Powell and Alex Grant go side by side, and currently Yosor Hernandez is lead at the moment. Dan Powell and Alex Grant fighting hammer and tongs into turn 6. Alex Grant has the outside line into exiting the turn 6, the hairpin. McCauley has already overtaken Shiden for 13th place. Here's Alex Grant's on board, but it looks like he will lose out to Dan Powell. It's still a Gen 1, 5th, 6th, and 7th one. So he's driving the Cherokee Republican Nissan. Alex Astor drives the number 8 Akai Haato Honda. Alex Grant holds on to Dan Powell. Meanwhile, Shiden and McCauley are still side by side. There's some impressive racing here in Fuji. McCauley and Shiden going side by side. Both cars have some, actually, Brendan McCauley's car has suffered damage, so that's one to look out for. Sean Pauly Let's see if we can have a good run off the final turn. Let's see if we can try to make a pass on Yosuro Hernandez. The gap is now 5/10, but it looks like Sean Pauli has a good run there into the final turn. Sean Pauli getting close, but not close enough, I don't think. 143.90, that's a very fast lap there from Hernandez. And now Balta's also catching them. Alika and Astor. Actually, no, Dan Powell versus Alex Grant. Who's going to be edging ahead in turn 1? It's going to be Alex Grant, 7th place this time. Here's the battle for the race lead. Sean Pauli and Yosuro Hernandez. Oops, I'm gonna need to take a check. Here to check the mic. Yep. Okay, so we're still holding on to this race here. So, just going to double check if you can hear my voice. All good?
Yes.
Okay, so we're back in the race. Sean Pauli is currently still in 2nd place. Daniel Balta is going to try to catch Hernandez and Pauli, the leading 2 cars. We're going to take a look back into the race fuel monitor, and Yosuro Hernandez and Andrew Tacosland running very low on fuel, as does Dan Powell. They will be the first ones to pit, so watch out for the undercut strategy there. Here it is, Yosuro Hernandez peeling into the pits. He will commit to an undercut strategy. Let's see if once you pit and you get those fresh tires in and you are in those clean air relative to the other drivers out there, you'll be having that faster lap times here, and hopefully you'll be trying to hopefully you'll be able to catch them by strategy alone. As Daniel Balta sets his personal best lap time, and he now sets his eyes on Sean Pauli for the race lead. Okay, it's another battle there. We've seen this battle before in race 1 back in March. Shazren and Reza battling Alex Bowen in the 31 and 08 cars respectively. I think we've seen this before in Hololive Star Festival Link Your Wish. I'm sure guys know anything more than doing that performing together. Daniel, Earth to Daniel. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we've seen this connection before with the Shirogai No and Himomori Luna performing together during Hololive's 3rd festival. Am I right?
Yes.
And currently Dan Powell but gets out of the pits. Yosuro Hernandez now out to the track. We're gonna be taking a look into the gaps right now. And currently he's only 45 seconds behind Sean Pauli. The pit window, the pit stop delta is 45 seconds. So if you want to pass someone in the race lead, you need to be 45 seconds and below. And currently he's 8/10 above the pit stop delta. So Sean Pauli will look to exit ahead of Yosuro Hernandez. Here's Alika and Astor vying for that 4th place. Mohamed Zohair is now the next driver to pit in this lap. Alika, we won't be showing you the progress chart right now because obviously we're currently at pit stop cycles there. Alex Grant is now going to dive down the inside of Alika and Astor. This is a battle for a gross 4th place. As you can see, Alex Grant with the superior Nissan VR38 EDTT engine. Alex Grant has edge ahead of Astor for 4th place. Alika and Astor is trying to catch Alex Grant there. Let's see if that worked there from the Kazakh. Obviously, we have 2 Kazakhs driving in Hololive GT3, Alika and Astor and Daniel Baltev there. Daniel Baltev is now just over a second behind Sean Pauli, but he's now losing pace just a bit. Usually, Daniel Baltev's strong case is in Sector 3, where Sean Pauli has struggled. Tacos Light exits. It is still in last place there, but his battle is with Miguel Castro and Brendan McConley, I believe Tacos Light will edge ahead of McConley and Castro on strategy. and Shiden as well. But as of right now, Daniel Baltev has now closed the gap. The gap is now under a second. And let's see if Baltev can catch up to Sean Pauli in the slipstream. And you can see the new billboards there on the main straight, Hololive Alternative and Hololive Adak Project. Kento Shida is now the next driver to peel, not exactly, Alex Grant, next driver to peel into the pits. Now we have 6 drivers who have already pitted there. Let's see who will be pitting next. Alikan Astor, Brandon McConley, Alex Grant, Daniel Bolotev, and Muhammad Shakir Reza. These will be the next drivers to pit in this lap, so watch out for them. Daniel, do you have any thoughts of the race so far as we're about to reach halfway?
Only 9/10 of a second separates Daniel from the first place. I'm very excited to see this.
Yes, we are all very excited to see this battle for the race lead unfold. Daniel Baltev is going to try to catch Sean Pauli there for the race lead. Obviously, both of these drivers are going to try to go for the first win for each of their respective members. Sean Pauli has finished second twice in Hall GT3 so far in the number 56 Unigami Corona Honda. Meanwhile, Yosor Hernandez Zuhair has passed Alex Grant. The undercut strategy is working for Zuhair right now. And as for Daniel Bolotev there, he wants to look for the first win for the number 10 Toyota Honda. Sean Pauli is looking for the first win for the number 56 Unigami Corona Honda. If either of these two win, this will be the first time both of these cars have won a race, and now Daniel Bolotev is going to peel into the pits. Let's see if the undercut strategy works out for Daniel. Here's Muhammad Shakir Reza and Alikan Astor peeling into the pits. They will be the next drivers to pit. They have pitted a bit longer than everyone else. And here we have some of the drivers who have yet to pit. Alex Bowen is still trying to catch up to Shazren Reza just a bit there. She is currently just under a second to Shazren Reza. Now we have only 5 drivers who have yet to pit. Currently, we have drivers stationary right now. Here's Joseph Hernandez into the main straight. This is a battle for the race lead there. Daniel Bolotev has now exited the pit lane. Joseph Hernandez is still bearing on the main straight. Will Joseph Hernandez have enough time? Looks like he just might. Daniel Bolotev is still inside the pit. And here's Joseph Hernandez. Joseph Hernandez has a chance to take over the race lead from Sean Pauli. And currently Sean Pauli is still onto the track. He has yet to pit. But right now Daniel Bolotev has the front wash pressure tires there to challenge Joseph Hernandez for, I think, first or second place. Here's Sean Pauli exiting the final turn. It's Sean Pauli's turn to pit. Currently the gap between Daniel Bolotev and Sean Pauli is 49 seconds. And Sean Pauli has a very good shot of holding on to this race lead with this type of delta. Daniel Bolotev is still barreling onto the racetrack. So basically Daniel Bolotev is committing to this undercut strategy 1 lap earlier than Sean Pauli. But it looks like it's not going to work. Sean Pauli is nullifying the undercut strategy that Daniel Bolotev has by covering that strategy with a pit stop there. Shazren Reza assumes the race lead as Sean Pauli and Alex Bowen gets into the pits as well. Here is Yosor Hernandez into turn 16. Sean Pauli is still into the pits, still has his car serviced. He has not yet had his car out. Yes, he does now. Yosor Hernandez is in the main straight into this 1.5 kilometer long straight. Let's see if Yosor Hernandez has any chance to challenge Sean Pauli. Here is Sean Pauli exiting the track. Exiting into the track. Yosor Hernandez is going to be side by side, I think. Into turn 1. Sean Pauli has covered both drivers and is now into the race lead, but his tires are not warmed up yet. Here is Yosor Hernandez. He is now faster across the line. He is going to be challenging Sean Pauli for the race lead. Here is Yosoro into the inside of Pauli into turn 3. They're both side by side. It's a make coordinate 1-2 as it stands. On board with the number 35 Sakura Migo Honda. Sean Pauly side by side into turn 6 into the hairpin. We're gonna be taking a look into the intervals. They're still side by side here. Yosoro has the outside, Pauly has the inside line. Baltev is catching up. Who is going to edge ahead of each other? There's a battle for the race lead there. Sean Pauly is now on the right. Yosoro Hernandez on the left. They're still side by side to turn 13. This is amazing racing there, Daniel. And for each... Yes, continue.
It's very eye-catching to see this.
Yes, it's eye-catching to see two drivers battling up for the race win here. Daniel Baltev is catching up to both of these drivers. Now the gap is now under 1.6 seconds there, Daniel Baltev. He's now catching into both drivers at once. Daniel Baltev is catching into the battling two drivers, Sean Pauly and Yosoro Hernandez. Side by side into the main straight and into turn 1. Who is going to edge ahead? Shazren is still barreling into the track. He has yet to pit.
There's pretty close. Oh, yes.
Hernandez in the inside. Pauly on the outside. Who will edge ahead? Sean Pauly has to...
showdown right here. We're having between Hernandez and Pauly a battle for the second place.
No, exactly battle for second place. Shazren has yet to pit. So after Shazren pits, this is essentially a battle for the race lead. Both drivers are still racing very cleanly. They're still side by side. Sean Pauly still has the outside line into 100R into turn 6. They're still side by side. This is amazing racing from these two drivers. And every time these two drivers are battling into each other for race position there.
Pretty well forward.
Only 1.4 seconds separating between Hernandez and Pauly right now, and it looks like the battle has calmed down just a bit. Yosoro Hernandez on the charge there to challenge Sean Pauly for the race win. Yosoro Hernandez, these three Honda drivers, Sean Pauly, Yosoro Hernandez, and Daniel Baltev representing Inugami Korone, Sakura Biko, and Tokuyami Toa respectively. Both of them are going to challenge for the race win. As it stands, Shadariza is looking to still not make a pit stop. He will be the last driver to pit. As for Hernandez into the final turn, Hernandez hasn't had a very good exit off the final turn. But now only 2 seconds actually separate between the two leaders. Let's see if Hernandez has a chance to fight Sean Pauly. But the slipstream is a bit far, so Hernandez may not be able to catch Pauly just yet. And as both of them battle, Baltev gains Sean Pauly by 1/10 of a second, and Baltev gains Hernandez by 6/10. Taco's Light is impressed with the racing here as it stands right now. 1.7 seconds separate between Pauly and Baltev. Hernandez is only separated between the two by only 0.8 of a second. He is losing some ground. Sean Pauly is using the tires that he has at the moment to try to hold on into this race lead. Shazren is still yet to pit. Race field monitor has confirmed that Shazren will be pitting at the end of this lap. Shazren is now barreling into the pits. That's him relinquishing the race lead to Sean Pauly. The gap is still 1 second separating between these three Honda drivers. All three of them are looking for their first win. Remember, we're gonna be talking about some Inugami Korone facts for a while. She works the double career in her life at the moment. One is as a bakery somewhere, and the other is being a virtual YouTuber in Hololive. Yosoro Hernandez represents Sakura Bika. As elite as she is, Yosoro Hernandez is also putting up an elite performance himself. He will be finishing in the podium for the first time in his driving career in the Sakura Miko Honda, but that is not the first podium for the Sakura Miko car. So Darren Ellis has scored this car on the podium before.
Hololive have got the podium.
Yes, Pauly has retaken the race lead. Pit stops have cycled. Shazren is going to battle Alikan Astor. Here's the battle for the championship. Alikan Astor is going to edge ahead of Shazren Reza. And Astor with the warmer tires there is going to edge ahead of Shazren. Shazren hasn't activated his tires yet. So Astor is going to use that time to actually pounce, gain some positions. Meanwhile, Dan Powell and Alex Bowen battle for the final points playing positions. As Alex Bowen's 9th place. Alex Grant and Mohamed Zohair battling left and right. We see how Roboki and Kanata collide with each other. Let's see if Alex Grant can give Zohair for a run of his money for 5th place. We're currently on board with Alex Grant, number 57, Amane Kanata.
Grant is very close to the hero.
Yes.
Perfect execution, and Grant will get that 5th place. Only 4 of 10 seconds separates Grant from the 5th place.
4:10 separating Grant from Zohair. This is a good chance for Grant to make a move down the inside.
Bulatov is almost in the 2nd place, only 0.5 of a second.
Daniel Baltev is currently catching Yosoro Hernandez. Let's see if he can get that 2nd place from Yosoro. Not quite. Alex Grant is now side by side with Mohamed Zohair. This is a battle for 5th place. Alex Grant has the inside line. Alex Grant is not really fighting much for the championship, but Zohair is kind of. Actually, everyone is battling for the championship, but some are in a better position than others. Zohair is in a better position than Grant in the championship as it stands. Off the track there, just a bit there.
Into the 15th lap, Polai, Hernandez and Bulatov got pretty good grip on the first 2 places.
Pretty good grip there on the first 2 places there. Josoro Hernandez
They're
and
fighting
Sean
very
Pauly.
hard for the 1st place.
This is not a battle for 1st place, this is a battle for 5th. But as for the battle for the race lead, Daniel Baltev is catching Josoro Hernandez. Let's see if Baltev is able to catch Josoro. Paul is if you wanted to look into their tires, Sean Pauly has a very fresh tires there compared to Yosoro Hernandez, who had 4 laps older tires. So Hernandez's tires is starting to give up. Sean Pauly and then Baltev has fresher tires, so they have more grip in them. So watch out for these drivers, especially for Daniel Baltev. The gap has really closed in for Daniel. And as for Alex Grant, he is now taking 5th away.
Astor is pretty close.
Yes, Astor getting close to Zohair actually.
He almost got the 6th place.
Right there, Daniel. He's now looking to overtake Mohamed Zohair. He wants to steal more points away from Shazren. And now Shazren is actually going to try to challenge Alex Astor for 7th place. He wants to steal some points away from Astor. Meanwhile, Daniel Baltev is going to try to catch Josoro Hernandez. The gap is only under 5/10 of a second. Daniel Baltev is looking for that podium position. Well, he's in a podium position right now, but he wants to score better. He wants to finish 2nd. His best ever finish in All GT3 up to this point. As of right now, drivers are holding steady. Alekan Astor in 7th place, Shazren Reza in 8th, Dan Powell in 10th place, Alex Bowen in 9th. And Baltev is going to try to catch Yosoro Hernandez. This is going to be very crucial for him if he wants to have any chance of catching Sean Pauly later on in this race. And no driver will be making that 2nd pit stop. It's still a long race. It was a pretty short race, so the 2nd pit stop is just not warranted. It's just too much to lose in that 2nd pit stop. Then Baltev breaking into the Dunlop chicane, turns 10, 11, and 12. Into turn 13. And then into the next corner of turn 14 and 15. Let's see if Baltev can gain some ground. 4/10 separating between Baltev and Hernandez. This is as close as Baltev can ever be to try to challenge Josoro Hernandez. His tires have given up. It's now only 4/10 of a second. Baltev has a good chance of making the pass for 2nd place. Under 3/10 now. Just over 3/10. But it's not going to be close enough for Baltev. This is as close as Baltev has ever been to challenging Hernandez for 2nd place. Sean Pauly is pulling away from the lead, the battle, the 2nd place battle. Shazren wants to try to overtake Astor, but to no avail. Astor is looking to try to make the pass on Momozohe, who in turn is going to try to make the pass on Alex Grant. Here's Volotev's on board, number 10 Tokuyami Toa Honda. Now into the trackside cameras. Daniel Voltev currently holding on to that third place, wanting to close the gap. Make sure the gap is only 4/10 between Voltev and Hernandez. Hernandez is currently holding on to that second place, holding on quite well. Dan Voltev started third, is now staying in third. Sean Pauly started second, is now on first place. Hernandez started on pole, fell down to second. Speaking of which, take a look at the progress charts. Alex Grant gains 2 positions from 7th place. Astor gains positions from 10th to 7th. Shadriza, the driver of the race so far, he started 14th, now up to 8th. And Otako's led with that third, which started last, is now up to 12th. Five-10 separating, now 4-10 separating between Hernandez and Voltev. But the difference between the two drivers as it stands, it's not much at the moment, but it's now on Voltev's advantage. It's not going to be enough. 5 laps to go in this race here in Fuji. So Daniel, how's your feeling right now?
Oh, sir. Yes, continue.
So Daniel, you're currently in third place. Let's see if your car is able to catch Jose Hernandez for second place, because Sean Pauly is now pulling away from second place right now, and Dan Voltev's chances for the race win is slipping away. And if he wants to have a chance for a race win, he needs to overtake Jose quick. So a bit of a Hololive fact file here for Daniel Voltev. Dan Voltev drives the number 10 Tokuyami Toa Honda. Now Tokuyami Toa wants to advertise herself as this devil, but with her being too nice sometimes, she's been given an alternate title, Toa Maji Tenshi, aka Toa, seriously an angel. So right now, Daniel Voltev is gonna try to extract the both out of this car to bring home a result for Tokuyami Toa and for all the Kenzoku to see. Into the final turn. This is as close as Voltev has ever been. 4/10, just under 5/10 separating between the two cars. Daniel Voltev is trying to catch Jose Hernandez. It's now under 4/10, and if you look at this speed difference there, he is now faster. Voltev is now faster. Only by 3 kilometers an hour. I don't think this is going to be enough for him to make the pass down into turn 1. He's still faster than Hernandez by all means. Voltev still pulls Voltev off. Has a better exit than Voltev this time by. Isaiah is going to try to find a way to get himself back in the points against Dan Powell. Both of them are in the top 5 of the championship. Here's Kento Shiden making a move around the inside of Taco's lead. Wanted to go out with a bang there, Kento Shiden. Tries to make a move. Both of these cars had incidents in race 1 back in March, and now in race 3. They're still side by side, exiting Coca-Cola into 100R. Taco's led outside line, Shiden on the inside, and it's now Shiden's 12th place. As we're in less than 4 laps to go, as we're about to start lap 20, which will be 3 laps to go, Sean Pauly has had a lot of breathing room for him to hold on to this race lead. Remember, Sean Pauly has not won a Hololive GT3 race, but this could be the day. This could be the race where Sean Pauly finally gets the job done. Here it is, Daniel Voltev as closer than ever to Yosoro. The gap is still 4/10. The difference in speed, pretty negligible as it stands. Jose Hernandez will still hold on to that second place. And back into the contest of the championship here, Astor is ahead of Shazren, as does Mamazo here, as does Daniel. As these are the 2 drivers who are ahead of Shazren Reza as it stands in the championship. Astor's the closest competitor to Shazren Reza. Will a move be made? No, I don't think so. Astor holds on to 7th place. It's now under pressure from Shazren. The gap is now at a 2/10 between Astor and Shazren. Let's see who's going to edge ahead. Just gonna keep testing the mic to see if the people in the commentary booth can hear me.
Yes.
All good there. So, Daniel, we'd like to hear your thoughts entering into the final 2 laps of the race.
We have less than 3 laps left and Bolotov is trying really hard to get at 2nd place. Polai got pretty good breathing space, so I think he can really relax. I think he got that 1st place, by the way. Shazren is going pretty consistent by the way last races. He got the 1st place with almost 200 points ahead.
Well, in championship context, over 212 points there. Shazren is against Adak-RMS, but Adak-RMS will look to steal 9 points away. I don't think it may be enough, but he can still try. Dan Boltev is looking for another shot to try to make the pass on Daniel Boltev. The gap's gain is still pretty much negligible. Will there be a move? I don't think so. We have now under 2 laps to go here in Fuji. No moves are going to be made yet. Yusur Hernandez has done a remarkable job holding on to 2nd place as it stands. Daniel Boltev is looking for every inch of the opportunity to try to pass Yusur Hernandez for 2nd place. Orihara Isaiah in 11th place, trying to catch Dan Powell for 10th. Looking at some of the battles as it stands, we're going to need to take a look once again to the progress chart. Adak-RMS against 3 positions, Shazren against 6 positions. Shazren is still driver of the race as it stands. Alex Grant gains 2 positions from 7. Sean Pauly started on the front row, started on the better side of the racetrack, and has actually had a better start than Hernandez to steal basically the race lead from Hernandez. Very good job there from the Spaniard, from the Brit, as he's looking to score his 1st win in Hall GT3 and for the 1st win for the number 56 Inugami Korone Honda. All the Korone are watching with close intent as Sean Pauly will start the final lap of the race in the lead as he exits into the main straight for the 2nd to last time. Yusur Hernandez looks to have that 2nd place sorted out. Boltev is just too far back. Here's Sean Pauly starting the final lap in the race lead. As the race calms down in its final stages here in race 3, let's look into the reflection of Sean Pauly's race results. Sean Pauly has finished in the points for multiple times in this season. The only times where he hasn't finished in the points was on top of this race 2 and Motegi race 1. And as for Sean Pauly's results, he has scored an 8th and a 6th in Fuji 1 back in March. In Okayama, he scored 2nd and 4th. In Sepang, he scored 9th and 3rd. 9th and 9th at Buriram. A 4th in Motegi in Autopolis race 1 before finally not scoring points in Autopolis race 2. And then in Motegi race 1, he scored outside the points in 11th, just edging Grant in that side-by-side finish. In Motegi 2, he finished back in the points in 7th. He has not won a race there. He's one of the best drivers in Hall GT3 to have never won a race yet. But now Sean Pauly is going to exit the final 2 turns into turn 16. Sean Pauly, stand up for Sean Pauly. It's his wonderful world right now, representing Inugami Korone. And for all the Koronesuki watching, Sean Pauly is on his way to win his first race in Hall GT3. Mamazura has just passed Alec and Astor for 6th place. Here's Sean Pauly taking a win here in Fuji in race 3. Yusur Hernandez, good job from him to hold on to the top 2 spots. Daniel Boltev tries, he might finish his 3rd place. Shakib Reza scores his equals his best ever finish in 4th place. Alex Grant follows Zuhair, and Astor trying to finish side by side. It's Zuhair 6th, Astor 7th. They're gaining ahead of Shazren in 8th. They're going to edge ahead of the championship leader in the standings. Alex Bowen 9th, Dan Powell 10th. They're doing their best to mitigate their losses in the championship. Great stuff from them. Isaiah is in 11th, Tacos led 12th. Shin in 13th, almost beating out Tacos led by just a hair. Castro 14th. And Brendan McConley unfortunately finishes last. So Daniel, 3rd place. How about that?
I'm pretty proud to share a podium with Polai and Hernandez. They did pretty well this race and it was really breathtaking to watch.
Yes, breathtaking to watch from start to finish there. Sean Pauli, Jose Hernandez, and Daniel Baltev scores the Honda podium sweep here in race 3 in Fuji. Very good stuff there from all of these drivers, but especially for Sean Pauli. What can I say about him? Has been very consistent, but has not been delivered when they needed him to. But now Sean Pauli is now a race winner. Shape your winner, ladies and gents. As we're about to transition over into the race results, actually. It has been one of the more interesting races here so far. Fuji still never fails to disappoint. Let's look into the race winner. Finally, for the first time in Hololive GT3, Sean Pauli wins a race in Hololive GT3, representing the number 56 Inugami Korone Honda. Jose Hernandez finishes 2nd in the number 35 Sakura Miko Honda. It's a Honda 1, 2, 3 in the podium. Very good stuff there. Daniel Baltev, here's your car, finishing 3rd in the number 10 Tokyo Mito Honda. Equals your best ever result in Hololive GT3 up to this point. Shazren Reza is in 4th place, number 77 Moses in Nissan. Alex Grant 5th, number 57 Amane Kanata Nissan. Zuhair, number 22 Shirakami Fubuki Nissan. So Nissan 4, 5, 6. All Honda cars have finally finished in the points. Finally, they have had a good result to show. Alikan Astor 7 in the number 8. Akai Haato Honda. Shazren Reza in the number 31 Himimori Luna Honda. Very good stuff for him to try to minimize his damage in the championship. Alex Bowen continues her points run in the number 08 Shogai Noah Lexus. Unfortunately, her run in the top 5 has concluded. Dan Powell finishes in the points again in the number 7 Natsura Matsuri Lexus. Or Harizai is just finishes outside of the points in number 48 Ozora Sport Lexus. And Taku's Light 12 in car number 12 Nazaki Nissan. Kento Shin 13th in his second to last race in the number 41 Hoshimachi Suisei Nissan. Miguel Castro in the number 46 Omar Polka Nissan. And Brendan McConley finishes last in the number 6 Hosha Marine Lexus. So Daniel, as we're about to transition over, so we're going to transition over into the next race. So I would like to hear your thought about the race here so far.
That was a perfect job done by Hololive. He got the leadership really stable, almost 5 seconds ahead of the whole group.
5 seconds ahead. Well, if we want to take a look into the race lead, if we want to talk about the gaps here, actually, no, not actually. Yes, he is only 4.3 seconds. So good eye there for Daniel. So obviously, Sean Pauli is going to be very excited to have his first win in Hololive GT3 come at this time, having to defend from Jose Hernandez, having to outscore him by strategy.
Interesting
and all
to think
stuff.
what will second prize bring to us.
And actually, we're gonna need to take a short break for a while, as I'm going to get back into the results here. So obviously, Sean Pauli has won a race. It's gotta be a nice and popular win, as does all of the other wins so far. We're gonna save some of the results here, and we're gonna get a look into the championship context. This has now been pretty interesting to see for sure. If you want to look into the championship standings as it stands here, 590 points between Shazren Reza and Astor. Now it's only 205 points separating between the two. Sean Pauli, the number 56 Inugami Korone Honda. Finally, he gets back into the top 3 with that win. Order Harizai is now down to 4th. Alex Bowen's now down to 5th. Jose Hernandez is now up to 6th. Dan Powell drops down to 7th. Zuhair is now in 8th. Andrew Tacos led 9th. Brandon McConley.
I think we have some technical difficulties here.
A bit of a technical difficulties. We may want to take a look into this. But for now, as it stands, we're gonna try to change windows to see if it's all good. Looks like you can see the championship table, Daniel. And here it is: Alex Grant in 11th, Miguel Castro in 12th, Shaki Reza 13th, Kento Shiden in 14th, and then Daniel Baltev, of course, finishes 15th. Let's see if you can hear my voice once again.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. So we're back into the screen right now. So obviously you're now getting way closer to Shaki Reza in the champion in Kento Shiden, who has now dropped down to 14th for the championship standings, unfortunately. So you have a chance of not finishing last. So Sui Toa, as good of a car, as good of the members as they are not performing as intended much in the latter stages of the season so far. So let's see who will end up edging ahead of each other, as we're going to be transitioning over to race 4 qualifying. So let's see if actually we're gonna need to double check on a few things before we get things done. So yeah, as for the championship context, we have now had a Honda 1-2-3 once again. How about that?
Perfect.
Perfect indeed for the Honda runners there, after having to struggle just a bit in Autopolis and Motegi. They're back in form in Fuji, as we're about to boot into race 4 of basically round 7 of the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series Split A. So I'm gonna need to take a slight breather. So Daniel, we're gonna start the qualifying session here. Let's see who will be the favorites. I'm also gonna need to try to adjust on a few things to make sure everything goes out as intended. And here it is, the start of race 4. Race 4 here in Fuji. Here is the cars barreling down on the straight here. Here is Shazren Reza on board number 31 Memorial Luna Honda. He's now just got out of the track. Here's Sean Pauly, our defending race winner. Let's see if Sean Pauly can have a good run. So I'm gonna need to take a break up for a while. Let's see if you can try to fill in as much information as possible. We also want to talk about Shaki Reza getting back in form after finishing 4th here in Fuji. He knows that the number 77 Momo Suzunene Nissan is a strong car. So let's go on board your car, Daniel. Let's see what your car can handle. As we're about to commentate your lap, we're going to commentate a lap of the circuit in your car. Here's Daniel Baltev in the number 10 Tokoyami Toa Honda. Oh, a bit of an encoding overload there. We have noted that. We're dropping the frame rates here. Daniel Baltev, number 10 Tokoyami Toa Honda. Let's see where he will end up. Into turn 1, just manages to pass Taco's lead. Into turn 3, into Coca-Cola corner. Daniel Baltev into the corner, holds on to 4th gear. It's a medium high-speed corner. 22.722 in the first sector. Into a long 100R, really hold on to 4th gear. She's on the 2nd gear at the hairpin, brake just before the billbowl as usual. Into 300R, here is much speed here as possible. Oh, lifting here, that's not going to look good sometimes. Into the Dunlop chicane, right into the Dunlop billboard at 100-meter board. Navigated chicane well. He takes too much of the curve. That is not going to help Baltev's chances. 20.58, 1 minute 540 for Daniel Baltev for his second sector. Into the tricky technical turn 14 and 15. That's nets. Into turn 16. Exiting the corner. Now he can take a short, easy breath into the main straight as his lap is completed. Then the bottom, let's see how your car ends up. Sean Pauli with 139.56. Daniel.
Yes.
So here's your car. Decent lap here from Baltev. He qualifies third once again. Shazren Reza now qualifies second place. Watch out for him. 135.6. Just behind Sean Pauli. Here's Brendan McConley in third place. Qualifies well. Kento Shiden qualifies on provisional pole on his last race in Holo GT3. Alex Bowen qualifies 6th. Great job from these two drivers. Isaiah in 6th qualifies 6th. Shakir Reza qualifies 9th. Not a good look from him. Zuhair qualifies 7th. Jose Hernandez finishes 2nd earlier. Provisional pole is a Mikomet 1-2. It's a Mikomet front row as it stands. Will Miguel Castro gain some lap time as we're now under 2 minutes of qualifying to go. 5 1/1000ths of a second separating Jose Hernandez and Kento Shiden. How about that? Miguel Castro qualifies 4th. Amazing stuff from the Chilean. Sean Pauli improves to qualify 3rd. Dan Powell, will he get his lap on the board? 4th. Alican Astor improves ahead of Shazren Reza. This is crucial. As Grant qualifies 9th. Daniel Baltev does not improve, unfortunately. 140.029. Andrew Tacos led 140.024. This is not looking good for some of the remaining drivers here. Especially for Daniel Baltev, who last race has challenged for the podium and is now not looking for extra pace here at the moment. He's now 4/10 behind pole time. Look at the gap between 1st and 15th. 5/10 separating these drivers. This is insane parity here we're seeing here in the field right now. Fastest is only 400s. Fastest is only 5,000s from Jose Hernandez. Almost the fastest Honda is now leading the pack here in qualifying. Here's Daniel Baltev's third lap. Let's see if he can make an improvement or not. Orihara Isaiah has now beaten Brandon McCauley in pace. He's now in 8th. Daniel Baltev is going to cross the timing beam for the second sector. Zuhair bumps Shazren down to 8th place. Daniel Baltev 100.745. And yes, we can hear. I think we can hear you. I think Daniel, you can hear me. So.
Yeah, I'm here right now and the microphone. I had some technical difficulties. I see that I got the 13th place.
Yeah, Daniel Baltev's not looking to improve anytime soon. And the Tacos is going to peel into the pits. Daniel Baltev is going to try as he might to make sure he gets the lap time that he needs. I don't think he's going to improve. Here's Kento Shiden. Daniel Baltev does not improve. Here's Shazren Reza. There he is. As for Kento Shiden, barreling down the final, exiting the final turn into the main straight. He currently qualifies on the front row. Yosuro Hernandez has improved his lap time, a 139.304 from Yosuro. Let's see if he can grab his first win of the season. Let's see if Kento Shiden can grab his first win of the season. The leading pack of cars have yet to win a race as it stands. We're gonna need to transition over to some of the cars. Orihara Isaiah, Shakir Reza, Zuhair, Jose Hernandez, and Miguel Castro will be the last drivers to get on the track. Shakir Reza is going to peel in into the pits, as does Muhammad Zuhair. Isaiah, will he improve? Improves, he's now up to 6. Castro is the last driver to get onto the racetrack. Yoso Hernandez, let's see if he can improve his lap time. Kento Shide has no longer looking to improve on his lap time anymore. Here is Castro barreling down the main straight. Yoso Hernandez does not improve, by the way. As we're going to be transitioning over into the starting grid. Castro. Where will he end up? Stays 5th place. And today we're going to be taking a bit of a look here into what's basically the starting lineup here for race 2. Reversal of fortunes for some of the drivers especially. Here is the pole sitter, Yoso Hernandez. Oh dear, the encoding is slightly overloaded still. Hang on, so we're going to be taking a look into some of the technical difficulties as we're taking a look here at the moment. Okay, so I think we're back in business here. We're going to... Okay.
Let me see. Yoso Hernandez, the fan of Miko.
Yes.
The first place in the front row, and the Kendo Shiden is sharing a front row with Yoso. It's pretty exciting to see. Pretty sad that Daniel got the 13th place. He tried really hard, but sometimes luck is not on his side.
Yeah, it's true there, Daniel. Reversal of fortunes, we've mentioned you can be good on the previous round, but then sometimes it just doesn't work out in your favor. Here it is, Sean Pauli, previous race winner in the number 56 Inugami Corona Honda. Pretty decent lap from here. Dan Powell, number 7 Natsuhiro Matsuri Lexus, as we're about to start race 4 of Split A. Here is Dan Powell, number 7 Natsuhiro Matsuri Lexus, Miguel Castro, number 46 Omar Polka Nissan Orihara Zaya, in 6 Alkan Astor, 7 Zuhair F. All these 8 drivers are closely ahead of Shazren Reza. They are looking to gain some points ahead of Shazren in the championship. Here's Shazren Reza in 9th, Brandon McConley in 10th, Alex Grant 11, Alex Bowen 12, Daniel Baltev 13, Chaka Rizzo 14, and Agro Takaza will start last in 15 for I think the second time in a row. So Daniel, we'd like to hear your thoughts for the qualifying session and before the race.
Qualifying session got pretty well. It was pretty decent drive by Daniel and others.
And
but
here,
Yoso got the first place. I have high hopes for him.
Yes, good. Yes, it's true. Yoso Hernandez scores his 2nd consecutive pole in Hololive GT3, and it looks like he has a good shot of winning with the Nissans, struggling in the race starts usually. Kento Shiden is lining alongside him on the front row. Let's see if he can make a dive bomb into turn 1. We're setting up the race. Ready? Here is the race. Here are all 15 cars lined up for race 4 of Split A. 5 red lights, and the race is underway. You can see Yoso Hernandez really good making use of the start, and Dan Powell is looking into the inside of Kento Shiden. Kento Shiden has really bogged down the start. Sean Paul is in 2nd place. Let's see if we can challenge Shiden on the outside line. Yoso Hernandez now takes the lead. Here are some of the battles here. Looking at Bolatev right now, he has now dropped down to last place. Unfortunately, Takozai has a good start once again. Shazren Reza is now down to 10th. There's a bit of a red flag moment there. Shiden has now passed Paulie once again. It's a battle side by side into turn 6, into the hairpin. Shiden now has 2nd place as it stands. His best finish is 3rd place. Let's see if he can improve from here. Shazren Reza has now passed McCauley. It's a side by side between McCauley and Shazren Reza. And Shaka Reza and Taco Sled also side by side as well. Shaka Reza now pushed wide. That allows Taco Sled and Shaka Reza to try to make a move. Here's Taco Sled. Will he make a dive bomb the inside of 31? Yes, he does. Hernandez now 1 second clear. Shiden in 2nd place. Sean Pauli in 3rd place. Dan Powell 4th. Alcan Astor 5th. Castro 6th. Zuhair 7th. Isaiah 8th. McCauley 9th. Taco Sled in 10th. Shaka Reza is going to try to get back in the points. He's now up to 10th once again. Sean Pauly is in the main straight here. He's looking to catch Kento Shiden. He's looking to overtake Kento Shiden. Astor is going to try to steal more points away from Shazren Reza. Astor is going to drive him into the inside of Dan Powell. Is going to try to overtake him to the fourth. Shazren Reza is going to try to overtake Brendan McConley. The gap is only 3/10. But Shazren Reza is too far back. Kento Shiden and Sean Pauly are trying to battle side by side. Astor is now up to 4th place. 42 points Astor is going to steal. Meanwhile, Castor is going to try to challenge Dan Powell. He wants to get back into the points. He wants to get back into the top 5. As of right now, nothing comes out of it yet. But look at Dan Powell in the inside line of 100 up. But that's going to be the outside line into the hairpin. Dan Baltev's catching Alex Bowen. Baltev, we have the inside line. Alex Bowen has suffered some kind of damage here on the left side of the car. Throughout her car, there's a good amount of damage in her car. Then Sean Pauly trying to catch Kento Shiden. Kento Shiden is losing ground to Yosor Hernandez. That gives her a lot of breathing space. Sorry, yeah, it gives him a lot of breathing space, Yosor Hernandez, to make sure he takes the race lead and holding on to that race win. He's going to have a lot of breathing space right now between himself and Sean Pauly right now. Kento Shiden as well. He wants to try to bring home a very solid result in his final race in Hololive GT3. This is a bittersweet moment for Sean Pauly right now. He's now currently driving under a starry sky as it stands. But of course it's daytime, so we wouldn't see any stars right now. Sean Pauly is now trying to catch Kento Shiden. He wants that 2nd place now. So that's why. Yosor Hernandez in 3rd place. Kento Shiden, will he make a move down the inside? He's too far back. As you can see, Shazren Reza trying to move down the inside of Brendan McConley. He wants to make sure he loses as less points to Astor as much as possible. Here's Daniel Baltzev making a move back up to 13th place. Very good stuff there from Daniel. Well, watch out for Alex Bowen. Too far back. That's Daniel Baltev's 13th place. Just gonna check it back on the microphone. It's all working as it stands.
Yes.
So right now, Brendan McConley is holding on to 10th place. He's currently trying to catch Shazren Reza. He's running a higher downforce setup than usual to gain some time around the corners. And now, Astor sniffing into the rear end of Sean Pauly. Sean Pauly is currently running pretty decently in 3rd place right now. He's looking to overtake Kento Shiden for 2nd. Alex Bowen and Alex Grant side by side. The two Alex's battle. It's now Bowen back up to 14th. Baltev is trying to snip into the rear end of Taco's Light, who's now currently under pressure from Baltev. He's getting pretty slow there. Can Daniel Baltev get back himself up into the points? Sean Pauly is barreling down the main straight here, making use of the exit and the slipstream. Let's see if he can get close enough to Shiden. Not quite close enough there for Pauly, but he is closer and closer and closer. Can it go under 2/10? Too far back. Pauly stays 3rd. Meanwhile, Castro is going to try to sniff himself back into the top 5. Let's see if Castro is able to get himself back into the top 5. Here's Miguel Castro. Will there be a move down the inside? Too far back. Taco's Light going to take Shakif Reza. They're side by side into Coca-Cola. They're both under pressure. Daniel Baltev going to try to make a move around the outside. Almost gets pushed off wide by the two Nissans. Now Baltev then better off in that battle so far. He needs to make sure both of these drivers battle it out. Okay, we take a look at the race for model to see who will pit first and who will pit last. Yosor Hernandez will commit to an overcut strategy. Astor, Mohamed Zohair, Ori Harizaya, Sean Pauly, Daniel. These drivers will be committing to an undercut strategy. Daniel Baltev will also commit to an overcut strategy. He wants to make sure he needs to get a track position for as long as he can. So watch out for these drivers with these varying strategies. And also for Orihara Isaiah as well, he has multiple reasons to run well as well. Remember, today is Ozora Subaru's birthday, and she's about to host a live stream of her doing idol work, doing performances live on stage. So you want to, if you want to watch Ozora Subaru's live stream, it's 9 p.m. Japanese time. So it's basically 12 p.m. Yeah, 12 p.m. 12 p.m. UTC. So if you don't want to miss out on Subaru's concert, this is a good time to watch it. Subaru's gonna try his best to overtake Castro. Shazren may be close enough to overtake Isaiah. Isaiah's trying his best. He's doing his best. Holds on to 8th place. Kento Shiden versus Sean Pauly. They're now side by side. This is the battle for 2nd place. Sean Pauly is about to overtake Shiden. Oh, job almost done. Almost pushes Shiden back out. Almost makes contact with Shiden. And now Astor is going to try to challenge Shiden. It's Alec and Astor up into the podium places. Amazing stuff. But, wait for it. Kento Shiden is going to fight back. He's not going out from Hololive GT3 without a fight. Alex Bone and Alex Grant trades blows in 14th and 15th. Astor has the inside line. Let's see if Astor can hold on into 3rd place. It'll still be a Honda 1-2-3 as it stands. Honda's really flexing in her muscles after a no-show before. And as you can see, Astor and Shiden are still side by side. And Dan Powell sniffing into an opportunity there. Shiden is still on the inside line of Nets, 14 and 15. Oh, goes way too wide there. Leo makes contact. Those two drivers. It's Kento Shiden trying his best to defend. 3rd place from Astor, and Astor's now under pressure from Powell. This is a dramatic battle there for 4th place. Daniel, can you add up on that? Daniel. Oh god, the mic's not working again.
No. Yeah, as we're getting almost in the 2nd quarter of the race, we see perfect results from Hernandez.
Apologies for the slight lag there. Alican Astor now on the inside of Muhammad Zohair has now lost out to quite a few positions there, but he wants to try to make sure he gains as much points as possible ahead of Shazren. Reza is now up to 8th place. Shazren is looking to gain 5 points to Astor's only 32, but that will change to 43. Astor now has the inside line into the hairpin as it stands. Here's Zuhair side by side with Astor for the battle for 4th place. Make sure he carries as much speed as possible in the corner. Don't take too much of the curb. It looks like Zuhair's 4th place now. For the driver who are going to pit first. Chucky Reza and Tacos are still battling nip and tuck for position. Daniel Boltev is looking for an opportunity to steal points, steal positions there for Chucky Reza and Tacos Land. Daniel, can you add up on the battle for 4th place at the stands?
We're seeing pretty good play from Astor and Zuhair. They're breathing side by side for the 3rd place right now. As we're getting into the 2nd quarter, Polai and Shiden is holding podium really well.
Yeah, they're
Hernandez got a lot of breathing space. I think I see Hernandez getting the 1st place in this race.
Yeah, so Hernandez looking for his 1st win in Hololive GT3, looking for the Sakurabiko Honda's 1st win in Hololive GT3 as well. Astor is currently 32 points. Shazren will gain 5 points. That means Astor will gain 27 points in the context of the championship. I don't think this will be enough for Astor for him to retake the championship lead. Well, let's look into some of the other drivers, especially for Pauly and Hernandez. Alcan Astor will probably step out from the top 2 of the championship for the first time as it stands at the moment, with Pauly and Hernandez giving out amazing performances right now. It's still a mid-coordinate 1-2 as it stands. Well, it was a mid-coordinate 1-2 in the 56 car's favor in race 3. For race 4, this could be in the 35 car's favor for race 4. Alcan Astor exited the final turn. Let's see if we can gain some ground on Zuhair. the gap is now closing in very, very well on this part of the section. The Honda may have just an advantage, but really the Honda is really catching up to the Nissan there, really giving a run for the money for the Nissan, but peels in way too early. I don't think that's not going to work usually. Into turn 1. Let's see who's going to edge ahead.
As we're getting into the 9th lap, we're seeing Astor trying very hard to get that 4th place from the hair. And Bolatov is almost close to the 12th place, only 1/10 of a second separates him from the... Is he going to make it? No. 1/10 of a second.
Daniel Baltev trying to make a move on Shakib Reza. He has the inside line into the hairpin of turn 6. Very good move there from the Kazakh. Exits the final turn just ahead of Shakib Reza. Shakib Reza is still side by side. He's going to try to give Baltev a run for his money into the double up chicane. On board the number 10 Honda. And now on board the number 77 Nissan. Into the tight double up chicane. Takes too much curve there. Shakib Reza manages to defend 12th place. As for the drivers who are going to pit, Shakib Reza will be the first driver to pit actually. So he needs to make sure he needs to get his fast inlet to make sure he gains as much time as possible. Mama Zuhair as well, he's going to be pitting. But he won't be pitting this lap, he will be pitting the next lap. And now Daniel Baltev side by side with Alex Grant. It's an Oreo battle between Daniel Baltev and Alex Grant representing Tokuyama Toa and Amane Kanata respectively. Daniel Baltev is on the outside line. Will he make the outside line work? Kind of. No. Daniel Baltev is now being overtaken by Alex Grant, but not for long. They're still side by side exiting turn 2 into Coca-Cola corner in turn 13. Sorry, in turn 3. Pushes both cars off wide. They're still side by side. Baltev has the inside line. Shakib Reza makes his pit stop. Baltev into the inside of the hairpin. Let's see if he edges ahead. Yes, he does, but looks like... Yes, Dan Baltev manages to defend 12th place. Great stuff there from the Kazakh. We also forgot to mention that Alex Bond has already made her pit stop as well. That's her that's her second stint currently in progress. Daniel Baltev and Alex Grant still battling side by side into turn 13. Almost contact between the two drivers there. You can see Grant getting way too close to Baltev. And currently Astor is currently under pressure from Powell into turn 1. Let's see. More drivers pitting into the pits. Zuhair's the next driver to pit. Takozle holds on to 11. Baltev holds on to 12. Orihara Isaiah as well is pitting. Brendan McConley's pitting. Andrew Takozle holds on to 11th place. Sean Pauly now side by side with Yosor Hernandez. This is a battle for the race lead. Once again, Sean Pauly on the inside line. Yosor Hernandez has been overtaken by Sean Pauly. It's now Sean Pauly's race lead. This is especially crucial here because Sean Pauly is going to try to make sure his in-lap is the fastest he can go so that he can overcommit to an undercut strategy for as much as possible. This is going very well there from the Brit. He's looking for the second consecutive win in a row. He's looking to sweep the round here in Fuji. Round 7. We have not seen this since Mama Shazren Reza did this in Okayama. It's an impressive showing there from Sean Pauly to make sure Sean Pauly shows to Hololive GT3 who's the boss, and that will put Sean Pauly back on the map, and this will mean Sean Pauly would take second place in the championship standings if he can hold on to the race lead. Here's Yosor Hernandez. taking over the race lead, with Paulie making a pit stop. Shiden makes a pit stop as well. Adak-RMS as well as Dan Powell. Miguel Castro and Shazren are now battling side by side. It's a battle between the princess and the clown fennec girl thing. Shazren, will he make a move around the inside? Not yet. Daniel, if you have anything to add right away.
Yes, as Polai and Hernandez are fighting for the first place, Bolatov got the 9th place, despite him being the 13th of the qualifications. I think that's a pretty good result, and I think he will get that first. Not first 10 places.
He will score in the points for sure, and Bolatov is committing to an overcut strategy. Mind you, he has yet to pit this lap. He will be pitting in the next 4 to 5 laps, as we're seeing here so far. And we're going to be taking a shot into the gaps into the leader. Remember, the delta, the pit stop delta is 45 seconds. And currently, Hernandez is leading this race. Paulie has a gap to kind of climb back. If Hernandez can maintain that 45 to 46 second gap between him and Paulie, he will most likely exit ahead of Paulie, but Paulie will have to warmer tires and will be instantly challenging Paulie for the race lead. Meanwhile, for Bolatov, he will still probably try his best to get himself back into the points. Astor has now gone out into the track. They're 51 seconds behind the race leader, but crucially, still ahead of Shazren Reza. Alikan Astor is going to try to catch Muhammad Zohair. These drivers from Keto Shiden, from Sean Paulie to Alikan Astor to Dan Powell to Isaiah. Meanwhile, Miguel Castro is the next driver to pit. And
as we're getting into the second half of the race, Castro Tucker's lead went into the pit. Bolatov is going for the overcut strategy.
Yes, going for the overcut strategy. Stay for as long as you can in this stint. Stay as long as you can in this tires. Make sure you still have that grip right now. We're going to be taking a look into the gas for those drivers who have already pitted. Sean Paulie is crossing the line. 1:48.279, but that's only because Sean Paulie have just finished his out lap. He's got the first representative lap. It comes in soon. Castro is exiting the track. Just ahead of Isaiah and McConley. He's now currently side by side with Isaiah, but it looks like Isaiah will have the upper hand. But Castro will have the engine power. Will he make a dive down the inside? Not quite. He's tucks in behind Isaiah. That's him in 11th place. Sean Paulie is now under 45 seconds from Yosef Hernandez. That means Sean Paulie will have a good chance to retake the race lead after Yosef Hernandez inevitably makes his pit stop. As you can see, Brendan McCauley side by side with Miguel Castro. Castro has the outside line, the inside line. Brendan McCauley now has the inside line into 300. R. McConley, it looks to have 11th place sorted out between him and Castro. Whatever the crew did to Castro in the pit lane, it's not working well for him. And now Castro looking to fight back. Almost no contact. Yeah, Balta still holds on to the racetrack there. Alex Grant now pits. I think it's in the sub 40s there, Hernandez. But what about Paulie there as he battles on the main straight? Look at this, Castro and McConley battling side by side. They make contact in turn 15. Brendan McConley tried to have a good exit off of 16. 56, only 4 tenths separating between the two, but the Nissan straight line advantage. The battle will go on. 139, 135. That's a very decent lap there from Paulie. Paulie has a solid chance of retaking the race lead from Hernandez. Shazren Reza is going to pit this lap. Let's see if Shazren Reza can hold on into this. But wait, Shazren Reza has been reporting that there is problems in his car. That's not going to do him any favors there. He has reported there's a problem in the car. After doing as much as he can to conserve the car, he's looking to definitely not finish the race as it stands. Shazren Reza into the final 2 turns. He's going to try to get back to the pits lane to see what's the problem. That's gonna cost him much time in the pits. This is an amazing, this is an insane turn in the championship, but Mohamed Shazren not being able to score points maybe in this race, as he may look to be out of it entirely. So now 139.907 loses time to Sean Pauli by 6/10 as it stands. Here it is, there's Mohamed Shazren Reza barreling into the pits. We're going to transition a bit to see what's going on with Shazren Reza in the car. Then Baltar still barreling down the straight. Here's Shazren Reza barreling into the pit. So yes, Shazren Reza has a problem in the race car at the moment. He is currently stuck in the racetrack as it stands. He's currently way down. He's currently has a problem on the racetrack as it stands. Shiden is in 5th place as it stands. He gains a few positions there, but he's now out of the pointing positions. Astor is going to try to challenge Zuhair. It's going to be a very good shot. It's going to be very good for all championship contenders to see Shazren Reza falling down from the points position. Is now still in the racetrack. And that looks to be Shazren Reza's race technically over. Yeah, Shazren Reza still has problems on the racetrack. There's a problem with the internals in the car. There's a reliability issue that Shazren Reza has to experience. This is not going to do well in his championship context at the moment. Sean Paul is still holding on to 3rd place, but mind you, Daniel Baltev and Yosser Hernandez have yet to pit this lap. And looking at the pit cycles right now, Daniel Baltev looks to pit this next lap, as does Yosser Hernandez the lap after. Shazren Reza has problems. Yes, it's confirmed Shazren Reza is now out of the race entirely. Not very good from the current championship leader. Daniel.
Yes, as we go into the 16th lap, Volatov is going to pit pretty soon. I think our cut strategy here is a pretty big risk, but who knows, we'll see later. As we get into the 16th lap again, Hernandez is holding the 1st place pretty well.
Hernandez holding on to this race lead.
That's all what I can say right now.
Yes, yes, Hernandez is holding on to the race lead, but Sean Pauli is in a very favorable position to get back into the race lead once Yosser Hernandez has to pit. Daniel Balatev is looking to battle tackles like Shakib Reza, Alex Gren, and Alex Bowen. Looks like Balatev has a chance to finish in the points once again.
As we see here is a Polai, Koronesuke. Inugami Korone is a Hololive gamers generation.
Yeah, it's true.
Good dog who works at bakery and boxes.
Yes, boxes too.
He's
Like
doing boxing.
yeah,
he loves retro games.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's a good point that Daniel has pointed out. We talked about how Inagami Korone is a sports person as well. She enjoys baseball and obviously watches matches with Amane Kanata as well. She also enjoys a bit of boxing, as you've mentioned earlier. Baker by day, Hololive member throughout. And whatever the case is, Sean Paul is in a clear favor to win this race. Daniel Baltev now the next driver to peel into the pits. Yosser Hernandez is now coming to the undercut strategy, but I doubt that Hernandez will be able to hold on to this race lead.
Bolatov is going for the pit as we get into the 16th lap.
Yeah, a bit of a commiserations there for Mohamed Shazren Reza. He is now out of this race entirely. He has mentioned that Fuji is not really his strong suit, and Fuji has bitten him once again. Shazren Reza is currently being plagued with reliability issues as it stands. Baltev is being overtaken left, right, and center. And Baltev exiting the track. Here's Taco's led. Here is someone Baltev is going to try to challenge. Taco's led passes Balatev, but Balatev will have the fresher tires once his tires are activated. Hernandez, the last driver to pit, but before that we're going to be taking a look into the progress charts. Shazren Reza started 9th place, has been pretty decent off the start. He looks to score a 7 or a 6. Actually, Yosoro Hernandez is going to continue for one more lap here, see if he can hold on to it. As for the gainers here, Bolotev is now a sniffer behind the points. Astor gains a lot of points there, now gains 30 plus points ahead of Shazren Reza. Zuhair gains 43 points ahead of Shazren Reza. Paulie will gain 75. Hernandez will gain 75 as well. As it stands, Shiden actually is back on the podium as it stands. Paulie will be a solid runner for podium, and it looks to me that he will be on course for his best finish in the Holo GT3 up to this point for both himself and the number 41 Hoshimachi Suisei Nissan in his final race in Holo GT3. This is bittersweet for him. Kento Shiden, since he started racing in Holo GT3 in Sepang, has been one to look out for. He's the starry-eyed member in Holo GT3 representing Hoshimachi Suisei. And obviously Kento Shiden barreling down turn 1 there. Around 6 laps to go. He's got to be proud of himself to be able to represent Hoshimachi Suisei in the Holo GT3 stage. Aligan Astor as well. Almost here too, but Kento Shiden, of course, is going to be replaced by Lorenzo Ricci after this round. It's a bit of a bittersweet move for Kento Shiden. Kento Shiden has been a well-known Hoshiomi here in the Holo GT3. So we'll be missing him greatly once he leaves the Holo GT3 scene, and we eagerly wait for his return one day. But the case is, Shiden, he's doing very well there. As Yosoro Hernandez now appeals into the pits, he will relinquish the lead to Sean Paulie and maybe to Kento Shiden as well. Reliability issues have plagued Baba Shazren Reza. There's a problem with the electronics there. The electronics have been acting up for him. The crew has told him to get back into the pits for repairs, but it looks like that's his race over for Shazren Reza, who is currently holding on to the championship so far. Meanwhile, for Sean Paulie, he retakes the race lead. He's gonna do the same feat Shazren Reza had done back in Okayama in Split A to win both races at once. Sean Paulie will gain 200 points away from Shazren Reza, and as it stands, it's going to be just over 100 points ahead of Shazren Reza in the championship standings. Daniel. Meanwhile, Shiden is behind Yosoro Hernandez. Yosoro Hernandez has not warmed his tires yet. Shiden is looking to claw back the gap. The gap is now 2/10 of a second. Sorry, 2 seconds. Daniel. Two seconds separating between Kento Shiden and Yosoro Hernandez with only 5 laps to go. Dan Powell, 6th place. Zuhair 5th. Alican Astor 4th. In terms of the championship contenders, they'll be stealing a lot of points away from the championship leader, who has now been suffering through reliability issues. And Kento Shiden in 3rd place as it stands. It's not looking to gain much from Yosoro Hernandez. He will match his best finish of 3rd. Just scored 3rd 4 times in Holo GT3 so far. And he looks to return to the podium for the first time since Sepang Split A Race 1. Yosoro Hernandez will match his best finish of 2nd twice. Losing 3 times, and is now going to be the new bridesmaid of Holo GT3. Sean Paulie also holds on to the race lead with only 4 laps to go. Kento Shiden is catching, but to no avail. We're going back into the progress chart. Oh, there's a bit of a lag spike here at FPS lag spike here at the moment. Hernandez loses a position after starting on pole. Sean Paulie manages to steal the lead once again. Kento Shiden as well, but this time Sean Paulie will have to fight for the race lead. But now it's paying handsomely for Sean Pauli. Actually, no, he didn't start on the front row. He started third. Manages to beat Shiden on the race start. And then eventually overtakes Hernandez. This is going to be one of Sean Pauli's best races yet. So her started 8th is now up to 5th. Astor from 7th to 4th. Great job there from the Gen 1 cars, who are currently occupying the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions respectively. Daniel. You know what, Dan Baltev is still away from the points. Unfortunately, Takola has gained 5 positions starting from last. Very good job here from the American. So let's talk about one of the other members here right now. Yosor Hernandez, number 35, Sakuramiko Honda. We have mentioned earlier that Sakuramiko has been a very elite member. And of course, he has had a few untold diseases that she has had at the moment, and that of course can limit some of her capabilities. But that does not excuse her for being an elite class idol. Just like Sakuramiko, Yosor Hernandez is defying the odds to make sure he's back in contention for the wins. Meanwhile, Miguel Castro is past Orihara Izaya for 7th place. It's Miguel Castro back at 7th. Amazing stuff from Castro. As we're about to enter
to the final laps, as we see here, Polai is 5 seconds ahead, and he's holding pretty strong in that leadership, while Bulatov is showing not so good results, but I still have high hopes for him. He has like 3 more laps to show his power.
Yes, but I don't think it's possible much relative to Andrew Taco's led. Daniel Baltev, he's been an on and off type of driver. Or the case is Daniel Baltev is looking to stay where he is in the bottom of the championship, unfortunately, but he has shown to be quite a powerhouse. Later on, maybe we'll be taking a look into round 8 later on in 2 weeks' time. Kento Shiden, what can I say? For Kento Shiden, it has been a pretty melancholic race here. Kento Shiden taking it into his stride, knowing that this is his last race in Hololive GT3 for the foreseeable future. Kento Shiden holding up quite well to make sure he scores the 3rd place finish for the number 41 Fushimachi Suisei in this end. So Yosor Hernandez and Kento Shiden being joint bridesmaids in Hololive GT3 up to this point. Of course, Shazren Reza is still pretty much disappointed with the reliability problems that forces him out of the race. Daniel Baltev has actually caught up to Andrew Tacos. The gap is now 1 second, just under a second. Let's see if Baltev can be able to catch Tacos in the final laps. 139.449 versus a 140.012. So Baltev has gained 3 positions. Alex Grant has now overtaken Shaka Reza for 12th place. We're looking at some of the battles here right now. Dan Powell's trying to catch Muhammad Zohair for 5th place. Nothing comes out of it for them so far. Dan Powell tries to make a move around the inside, but to no avail. Kento Shiden in 3rd place as it stands. Yosor Hernandez in 2nd. But Sean Pauli showing his might here. As they exit the final turn to start the final lap of the race in the lead, Sean Pauli has shown everyone who's boss here in Fuji Speedway here at the moment. Let's see if he can lead the final lap as he's about to start the final lap of the race in the lead. Sean Pauli, what can I say about him? Has been showing to everyone that he's the class of the field here in Fuji right now. He's about to score a feat has not been seen since Okayama in Split A, where only one driver has won both races, sweeps both races at the same time. Sean Pauli is a powerhouse right now. We also want to talk about one of Coroner's original songs, Doggy Godstreet. Daniel Baltev now back on the points. He's back in the points. He's overtaken Andrew Taco's. The tire grip that Boltev has surpassed Taco's abilities. And it's now Daniel Boltev in 10th. Amazing stuff. As we mentioned earlier, Sean Paul is driving the number 56 Inugami Korone Honda. One of Korone's original songs is titled Doggy God Street. And currently, this is Sean Pauly's God Street. As Sean Pauly shows everyone, like we've mentioned earlier, we've already beaten this dead bush around the class of the field. He's shown to everyone who's the one to beat. Sean Pauly is showing to definitely score the back-to-back wins here in Fuji, round the final turn for the final time. Sean Pauly. He's the strongest, he's a genius, it's a wonderful world. It's his God Street. Everyone in every corner of this game must stand up for Sean Pauly. Driving for Inugami Korone in the number 56 Honda. Sean Pauly scores back-to-back here in Fuji.
Perfect execution from Polite.
Amazing stuff from Hernandez as well. Kento Shida manages to hold off Alican Astor in his final race in Holo GT3.
Astor tried really hard for that podium, but not today. As we see the race finishing, Bolatov got the 10th place.
Amazing stuff.
Good results for him.
Amazing stuff there from Bolatov to make a last lap pass on Taco's lead. Bolatov steals 10th away from Taco's lead. Macaulay 9th, Isaiah 8th, Castro 7th, Powell 6th, Zuhair 5th, Taco's lead in 11th, Grant 12th, Check Reza 13th, Bowen 14th, Shazren Reza is in 15th. We're going to be switching over into the race results here as it stands. Sean Pauly wins back-to-back in the number 56 Inugami Korone Honda. Yosor Hernandez finishes second. Kento Shida in his final Holo GT3 race. He started Holo GT3 in third. He's finished Holo GT3 in third. Alican Astor in fourth. Zuhair 5th. Dan Powell 6th. Miguel Castro 7th. Orihara Isaiah 8th. Brandon McCauley 9th. Dan Boltev finally manages to bounce back to finish in the points. Andrew Taco's light 11th. Alex Grant 12th. Shaka Reza 13th. Alex Bowen 14th. And of sad day for Shazren Reza, who only managed to complete 13 laps before electrical problems plague him this late into the race. So I'm about to transition over into the championship standings here. Daniel, can you share us your extensive thoughts for the two races here in Holo GT3?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy for getting the podium in the first race. While the qualification went pretty good. I almost got the front row in the first race, but still very good that I got the podium the first. The second race qualifications was pretty decent. I got not the best place, but still I got the 10th place and some points.
It's a very consistent run there for Daniel Boltev. Scores a 3rd and a 10th, and it looks like there's a huge championship shuffle here as it stands. We're going to be switching over into the championship standings as of at the end of round 7. We have some new faces challenging for the championship for the first time since ever in Holo GT3. For the first time in Holo GT3, the number 8 Akai Haato Honda is now out of the top 2 positions. We're going to be taking a look into the championship standings here. Muhammad Shazren Reza only 590 points. Sean Pauly, crucially, 460 points. Only 130 points behind the championship leader. Alican Astor has also climbed into ever closer to the championship leader after that unwanted DNF that Shazren Reza had. Yosar Hernandez also gained some positions. He's now back in the top 4. Orihara Isaiah in 5th place, Alex Bowen 6th, Zuhair 7th, Dan Powell 8th, Taco's led back in the top 10 in 9th, Brendan McConley in 10th, Kento Shiden in his final race in Holo GT3 manages to bring that car back up into 11th place, Alex Grant 12th, Miguel Castro 13th after scoring his 4th 2nd place finish in Holo GT3, Shaka Reza in 14th, and Daniel Boltev only 18 points behind Shaka Reza in 15th. We're going to be transitioning over to one more thing. So we'd like to thank everyone for tuning into this wonderful race here in Fuji. It's been a wonderful time for us to return into this mountainside track It has been very wonderful to see the drivers perform left, right, and center. It has been a blessing for us to stream Hololive GT3 here today. As for Daniel Balton, we'd like to thank him for the bottom of our hearts for joining in the commentary box for this race for today. So we will absolutely thank Daniel for his efforts in Hololive GT3. May Toa bless him with more good results later on in the season. And as for the stream itself, I am Mama Shazren Reza, and watch out for tomorrow as it will be Split B's turn to race in Hololive GT3. This is Mama Shazren Reza speaking, and you have been watching the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series Round 7 here in Fuji.